Once upon a time in a faraway land, there were two brothers, Ugbede and Ojoma. Ugbede was the older of the two brothers, and he was very wealthy and a very close friend of the king. He was also very greedy and oppressed his younger brother most of the time. He was always looking for ways to take over his brother's own portion of the land they inherited from their late father. At the beginning of every planting season, Ugbede would be the first to clear his own portion of the land. Not because he's hardworking, but because he wants to encroach into his own brother's part of the land. He would clear a large portion from his brother's land, in addition to his own. And when Ojoma complains, Ugbede would threaten to use his wealth and connection to the king to deal with him. Ojoma became poorer and poorer as he continued to lose most of his inheritance to his brother. A long time later, Ojoma was left with just a piece of land and no crop to plant on it. He was very unhappy and a very lonely man too. One day, he saw his brother's wife preparing yam. She cut out the parts they were to cook and went to throw away the head part of the yam. Ojoma quickly thought to himself, "Wait a minute, isn't that the head of the yam she just threw away? I should pick it up and plant in my farm." He quickly sneaked to the place where she threw it, picked it up, and then he saw some others and picked them up too. Unknown to him, Ugbede, his brother, saw him and wondered what he was up to.
I will keep an eye on him,"
Ugbede said. This continued for a while. Anytime Ugbede's wife disposed of the head of the yam, Ojoma would go and pick them up until he had gathered enough. He took them to his farm and planted them. Ugbede found this really interesting. He waited. Ojoma was very diligent and took very good care of his farm. Soon, the yams began to grow and looked very healthy. His farm was doing better than any other farm in the village. He was happy and hopeful. One morning, Ojoma thought it was time to harvest the yams. He took a basket, a cutlass, and a hoe and started towards the farm. Ugbede saw him and knew immediately where he was going and what he was up to. Secretly, he followed him. Ojoma got to the farm, dug out the first yam, and it was as expected, very big. Just then, Ugbede thought to himself, "I think it's time to act. That yam is really big. A sample of all I will have to myself." He rushed into the farm and shouted at his brother, "Hey, stop right there. What do you think you are doing?" "What is it this time again?" Ojoma asked. "I'm in my farm, not yours. I am harvesting my crop, not yours."
"Who said it's not mine? You think I don't know, eh? All those times you were sneaking up to steal the heads of the yam my wife was always throwing into the garden. You think I did not see you. Now, if you do not leave this place right now, I will use my wealth and my connection with the king to deal with you. You already know he's my friend and will do anything I ask of him."
So sad and defeated, Ojoma took his basket and tools and started back home.
So this too is all mine. I have to go and get my wife and kids. We must harvest these yams today. How did he manage to make his farm this fruitful? Hey, I will need new barn by the time I'm done harvesting this,"
he said and left. Unknown to him, an elderly man from the village, a very righteous man, saw everything that had happened.
"Should I go and tell the king?"
No.
He's the king's friend. I need to do something. I can't allow this injustice to happen.
He went and gathered the people of the village.
What is the punishment for stealing in our village? He asked.
Punishment, one of them answered.
And how bad will it be when it's the rich stealing from the poor?
He asked again. And there was great murmur of anger and disapproval. He marched them straight to the king's palace, who, having heard there's a thief somewhere, got angry and followed them to the farm. When they got there, they caught Ugbede red-handed harvesting Ojoma's yam with his family. Most of the villagers already know Ugbede to be a very wicked man. They would hear nothing from him and his wife. This time, it was very difficult for the king to save him, for they all caught him red-handed. Ugbede and his family were instantly banished from the village, and all that belonged to him were given to his younger brother, Ojoma.